Hello, and welcome to this episode of My Fellow CRE Influencers. I am 1031 Broker James with Best 1031 Online, and with me today, a very close, dear, sweet friend of mine, Linda Day Harrison of The Broker List. Hello, Linda.
Hi, James. I'm so excited to be here.
I am way more excited to have you on. So thank you so much for coming on with me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So let's first talk about, see if we can remember when we met.
That's the most embarrassing question I can ever be asked at my age, because I try to remember all that stuff, and it's like this crazy whirlwind.
Right.
I feel like I've known you for a long time, but I can't remember if I met you in person before or after we did that. Remember that blogging thing we did, Sarah and I did?
That.
I can't remember if that was before or after I met you in person. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure that was before.
Oh, it was before.
The first time we met in person was at the first CREI Summit.
Oh my gosh. I thought I had met you at ICSC at one of the parties, but maybe not.
Well, you know what? Maybe.
I thought I knew you from the way back when we started doing Let's Get Social, but I don't know how far back you remember going to those events either.
Yeah,
I hate that
I know.
question.
I've been a part of the Broker List for
ever
7 or 8 years at least.
I know.
So
I appreciate it more than you can ever imagine. It means the world to me.
Well, thank you. That blog webinar that you and Sarah did was a game changer for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Absolute game changer. In fact, I still have the notes. I took so many notes. I don't know how many episodes we did. There were,
I think there was four parts. It was a 4-part series, I believe. Yeah. It was wonderful.
But yeah, game changer for me.
We did a lot of fun stuff during COVID to keep people going, to keep people's spirits up. We said, let's do stuff that's going to help people while they're sitting home.
That's right. So that was during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that was definitely before the first CREI. The first CREI was in 21.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, it was right after. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the 5th year.
Correct.
All right. So let's tell the audience, give us a little history about how Linda Day got started in commercial real estate.
Wow. Well, I have to attribute it all back to my mother, believe it or not. She had worked for a plumbing contractor, and his wife was working for a big developer in Chicago. And he said, oh, my wife is always looking for people. You should have Linda go meet her. And the rest is history. So I credit my mother to introducing me to the business, because I had no clue. I was a kid right out of school, didn't know anything. And my mother has been a fabulous mentor to me in my life, and also catapulted me into real estate. And as soon as I started into it, I absolutely loved it, and I never looked back. So that's how I got started. Sheer luck.
Ask you what year that was?
That was in 1981. So I'm telling everyone how old I am.
Yeah, that was the year I graduated high school.
No.
Yeah.
What? Oh, God. See, you're a baby.
62-year-old baby. That's me.
Oh, you are a baby. Oh, James, you're just a little whippersnapper.
All right. So
that's how I got into it.
However many decades that is, what was the inspiration for the Broker List, and how did the Broker List get?
The inspiration for the Broker List was a combination of, one of my architects had sent me this email and said, Linda, you've got to check out this website called LinkedIn. I said, LinkedIn? What is that? This is really the eons now. There weren't even 1 million people on LinkedIn at the time. It was very, very small.
LinkedIn launched in 2009?
I don't even remember. Oh no. Was it 09?
I think so.
I'd have to go back but I don't remember. But anyway, so I said, oh, okay, I'll check it out. And at the time I was I call it, I was at the front line. I was a CCIM and a CPM. I haven't been practicing, so I dropped the designation acronyms on my name. But I was a CCIM and a CPM at the time. And I said, and I loved technology in all shapes. So I jumped on LinkedIn and it was like crickets. It was like nobody there. But I jumped on anyway, and I started getting inquiries. People were finding me and saying, "Oh, do you know a broker in this market that can do this? Or can you help me with?" And I just started, "Wait, what's going on?" Now, at the same time, I'm a functioning professional in the industry, and many of my clients were institutional owners with properties that we had to keep full. So we were always maintaining massive broker lists. Our broker lists were very detailed. We knew every broker, where they worked, the name of the company, their phone number. We didn't even have emails back then or fax numbers. What their specialty was, were they urban, suburban, retail, industrial? We broke it all down. And these were thousands and thousands of names. I'm from Chicago, so it was a bigger market.
Sure.
And that included the suburbs. And so we always had a broker list. So when LinkedIn started, I went, wait a minute, maybe we should have a broker list online for everybody instead of our company, that company, all the different companies maintaining their own broker lists. Why don't I create this idea? And that's how it really started, because I did it manually for years. And then emails came on board. No, excuse me, fax numbers, first of all. Every office then had one fax number. That was the first thing. And we would do broadcast faxes to those offices and said, I have these suites available. I've got this ground floor retail available. I got this. Every Monday we would do our fax broadcast. Then all of a sudden we were getting one email address per company. Then we added the email address, one. Then it started to trickle.
Whoever.
What?
It was probably info at whoever.
Right. Then it started to trickle down. All of a sudden, very slowly, really slowly, all of a sudden a broker might get an email address. Most of them were AOL.com. And then you'd get another email address. And it was like we're filling in this puzzle. So the bottom line was, my vision came from, inspired from the manual broker lists and the advent of LinkedIn and other platforms that made me kind of link the two ideas together and say, why is there so much redundancy in the industry? And I haven't even scratched the surface, but I still fight on. I still charge ahead, even though we're only about 11,000 brokers. I wish we had all of them, but it's just a slow process, because even to this day, online stuff is still slow to get through to our industry.
Well, that coupled with the fact that, a lot of brokers, in fact, I had Alan Buchanan on my show last week.
Oh.
And we were talking about, because, the three of us all kind of come from the same era.
Yeah.
We'll call it that. We'll call it an era. And because when I started my broker at my career, which was in 2000, my firm didn't have email yet. And in fact, I don't even think we had internet access yet.
Right.
And back then, the brokers would, and I started my career in Phoenix. I was in the Metro Phoenix area.
Oh.
I started at Cutler Commercial. And I remember we would get these packages in the mail of everybody's, that was their distribution list, is they mailed out everything. And the one from CBRE would always be like this thick.
Right.
So anyways, Alan and I were talking about that, and that, even to this day, even with organizations like the broker list and CREI now in full swing, still, what would you guess? 20%, less than 20% of the brokerage community is, embracing social media?
Oh, I'd say it's a much, much tinier number. Oh, I think it's a very small number. That's why it's so important for people like you to get out there, because you got it, a whole empty plate. I mean, you've got the whole buffet, literally. I mean, to me, people that don't embrace it, boy, they're really left behind.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
leaving a lot of exposure on the table.
With me being a Massimo coach
Oh,
for the last
yes,
9 years with
yes,
Rod, that, yeah, less than 30% of the guys that I've coached, which it's been more than 100 brokers I've coached in the last 9 years,
right.
less than 30% of them are active on social media.
Well, now remember, now you're talking about a more forward-thinking group too. They have coaches, so that's a group that I would think, even that's shocking that it's only 30%, because that's a group that I would think would be grabbing it and saying, I got to have more, more, more. But I think it's a fabulous statistic because it shows you how small the number really is. If 100 top-notch forward-thinking brokers don't do it.
Yep. Well, because I remember when I first met Bob Knackel at one of our immersion events, probably in 2017,
Right.
2018 maybe, he wasn't active on social media.
Oh no, he's recently active on social
He didn't
media.
get active until what, maybe 3 years ago?
Right.
4 years ago,
Right.
maybe?
I know. That's what I'm
I
saying.
know he was basically an overnight success. I mean,
Yes.
when
Yes.
you have the track record and the pedigree that he has,
Right.
as well as the best coach in the country,
Well,
is his
of course,
coach, Rod.
Rod is the best. But what else he had, which is outstanding, is the stories he has. His stories, how, and I've spoken to him. His stories are so fresh in his mind, and I'm like cobwebs up here. It's like, I wish I could remember every deal I ever did. I would pray that I could remember. I can't remember.
No, I can't.
We didn't have the documentation then.
He's done, close to, I think he's getting close to 2,300
Yes.
transactions.
Yes.
I have more than 1,500 transactions myself.
My
Most of those are
God.
lease transactions.
Yes.
I'm getting close to 500 sales transactions.
Oh boy.
And I could tell you all of them.
That's what I mean.
No way.
But he's like this and this deal and that deal. And he blogs with us like you do. And he sends us all his stories, through RSS, just like you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to read them, and I'm just like, this is the coolest thing to hear. All these stories over the years from Bob Knackel is just such a wealth of information. Yeah, I wish you could mimic some of, if you could go back and tell some of the stories. I think they're fun to read. I love reading them.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show on Monday, next week, at the beginning of next week. So getting back to the broker list. So you say you have 11,000 plus people on the list. Do you have any idea how many commercial brokers there are nationally?
I get that question probably once a month. Somebody pops it at me.
I know Rod's got a pretty good idea. I don't know what that number is. I think it's less than 100,000.
I was going to say it's a small number. It really is a small number. People are astounded when I tell them the number. Now, my number would be, now Rod might be focusing on people that are 100% commercial. Yeah, I think the number's probably
commercial brokers.
I think the number of active people that are doing commercial business is probably double that, including residential. And I say that because it's very important to acknowledge residential is most of the less urban, less dense areas of the country, and there's a lot of them. So you can't not acknowledge that. And I remember at one company I worked with, we had a guy that was in commercial, and he did everything. He did industrial, office, multifamily, and he was excellent at all of them. And I remember saying, Mike, why are you doing all these categories? He said, because, and he was older than me. He said, because I've seen all the cycles. He goes, I've seen the ups and downs. I see how things change. And my clients have different needs. I don't want to be someone that can't help someone if they need help and they want to work with me. And I just feel I'm more well-rounded. I said, that's great. So I think there's a lot of those in smaller markets that have to do everything, or they'd starve to death. They can't.
Yeah, generalists out there. There's some fantastic generalists.
Right, and that's what I'm giving a nod to Mike, because he was amazing, just outstanding broker. held him on a high pedestal, and he was a generalist and he did everything. So I think there might be more. Rod's probably focused on 100%, like just counting all the commercial companies, but I think there's a lot of what we call full service companies that have commercial and residential. That's my take. So I say maybe 200, 250,000, including those people as well.
So the 11,000 that you have on the broker list,
Yes.
how many of those are bloggers?
Wow, boy, I should have done all my math here. Well, very few, considering how many we have. We might have had over the years probably 100, so what is 1%? 100 that have tried it. And remember, I've been around for quite a long time, and the broker list has been around since 2011. So that's 14 years of people coming and going. We'll have somebody jump on board, blog a year, quit, blog a couple years, quit. So I'd say maybe 100 or so. Maybe I'm shy. Maybe it's 150, but not all at once. How's that?
Yeah. How many active bloggers do you have right now?
Probably about, God, I don't even know. I'm going to say maybe 30, 25, 30. Not all of them blog a lot, but some blog more than others. Does that make sense? Some blog weekly, some blog monthly. Some would blog, every day if they could. But, they have to work too.
Right. Well, the point you made about how people blog and they come and go, and that's
Yes.
something that I also see in brokerage or in coaching the brokers, is that, yeah, consistently maintaining a blog takes a lot of work. And whether it's maintaining a consistent blog, maintaining consistent social media presence, all of those things, and this is probably the one common thing that most brokers struggle with, is that you've got to set time aside. You've got to have it in your calendar. It's got to be a weekly thing. I've just recently recognized now that with my social media channels, I post 2 blogs a month. And now with the YouTube channel, is that I have to spend at least an hour a day, at least an hour per day, every day on my digital media, whether it's creating it, planning for it, outlining it, planning it with my providers. I have a social media manager, I have video editors. And so it's, and you have to have control of your week.
Yeah. Well, I do a lot in my life. Like, I'm involved in a lot of initiatives outside of the broker list and activities. And I tend to do things really planned way ahead. I don't like to wait. I'm not one of those people. Like right now, I probably have blogs written for the next, 3 months. They're done. They're just queued up in the calendar. Wow. I like to do things like that. Like, okay, today I'm going to write 10 blogs. Bam, boom, 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 get them done, have them done. Obviously things change, you know what? I'm going to move this blog up here or down here because of maybe something's trending, or, it might be more popular. But I like to do things way ahead of time. And I think if the brokers looked at it that way, where they took advantage of scheduling and they took advantage of planning, I don't think you have to spend as much time as you're saying on it. And of course, I favor blogging. In fact, we're doing a session at the CREI Summit called the OG Outreach, how newsletters and blogs are still relevant today.
Oh, of course.
Well,
and what's great about that now is that I've just recently learned of there's probably half a dozen or more AI platforms where you can take your blog, upload your blog, and it'll create a reel for you.
That's what I'm saying. That's not the reason. That's one reason with tools.
I got your reason too, but
the reason is search, SEO, and AI, because AI is tapping into everything and anything that is online.
Right.
And I have recently gotten a surge of advertisers calling me just without a referral from someone, because I get most of my advertisers from my members. Like you'd say, Linda, this is a great guy I do business with. They should be on the broker list. They'll get a lot more traffic or leads or whatever. Guess they're saying, oh, I found you on Copilot. I'm like, what? I found you on ChatGPT. They're blowing my mind. Wow. So what's happening is they're going into, and I ask them, because I always say, how did you hear about me? And they're saying, I'll say, could you tell me what you typed in? Could you tell me what you asked ChatGPT or Copilot? Yes. And they'll tell me, because I want to know what is, and sure enough, it's something real simple. Like, I'm trying to get in front, I'm a blank business. I'm trying to get in front of commercial real estate brokers. How could I do that? And our name comes up. I haven't done anything, James, to make that happen. I mean, I have, but without knowing it.
It's online. It's your presence online.
Right.
For sure.
So to me, that's what's for me. I'm rejuvenated. I'm so excited. I'm so driven by this. And the more bloggers we get, the more excited I am for them, because I think that it really matters.
Yep. So kind of a great segue into CREI Summit, which is coming up in September with the 10th, 11th, and 12th in the Palm Desert. I know that you and I will be there, as well as, I don't know what the attendance will be, but I do know that it is
fabulous
bigger and better every year. I had Ken and Coy on my show a couple of weeks ago. Ken and the time and effort and everything that he and those original circle of his put all this together, and now what it's become is truly amazing. It really is amazing. And all the content that is covered, whether it is, like you said, providing blogs, providing, the how-tos with the videos and the reels, and now we're getting into obviously podcasts and YouTube channels and all these other things. It really is become quite an event.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. And I do want to say that the session that I'm on a panel with Roxy Klein, Roxy from Progressive Real Estate Partners, Brad Umansky's company, Daniel Harold of Northmark, and Coy Davidson. We are the OG outreach panel, and we are from 1 to 2:15 during I think it's called Caffeinate and Create sessions, if you look on the agenda. And it's going to be a wonderful workshop. It's going to be, about 20 minutes of us talking about why we are passionate about writing content, whether it's a newsletter or a blog, and then a Q&A, and then a workshop. So we'll work one-on-one, or how many come to our session. We're going to break out in groups, and we're going to work with you to create content. We're going to help you create content right there in the room. So I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And Coy Davidson, he truly is
He is. I know.
He was.
I tried to get Alan Buchanan, but he turned me down. He said he couldn't make it this year because he was on a panel with me before. We had a blast, but he couldn't make it this year. He'll be there next year.
Right. Okay. As we're wrapping up here, do you have a quick 1031 story that you can share?
Well, luckily one's fresh in my mind. I've got old ones, but the freshest one was sort of a surprise. I know that sounds really crazy, but I wasn't paying attention, and my husband wasn't paying attention, and we were involved in a property that's being sold. That's a large piece of property, and we're a very small minority owner in this large property, and it's a piece of land that's being sold to a developer. And we've had the property since 1998, and it's on the Las Vegas Strip. It's a 30-acre parcel.
Oh my goodness!
We're a tiny, tiny piece of it. Trust me, very small. But anyway, the bottom line is, we aren't hands-on with it. It's being handled by corporations and everybody doing whatever they do.
Sure.
And they said, "Oh, we've got a buyer, and it's going to close." And I'm like, "John, we should do a 1031. He's like, "Nah, yeah, I know." I go, "John, we should do it. Why would we want to give the government this money? Why on earth would we give them any
gain there?"
Yeah. I go, "Why would you give them one penny of money?" And I'm like, "This is crazy." So I said, I'll prove it to you. I said, we'll call the accountants, and, went through that whole thing. And the accountants came back and said, oh yeah. And then and it turned out to be a lot more money than my husband actually expected. And I said, aren't you glad that I said? He goes, oh my God, yes. So we're going to buy something. And I immediately thought of my very dear friend and my top of mind person, James Bean, and said, James, I need help. I need a 1031 exchange person. He's like, blah, blah, blah. In 2 seconds, he's like, this is the guy. He goes, I will send an email and introduce you guys, and you will have it. And I was panicking because the closing's September 4th, and we're buying this other house. We're going to buy a property on September 5th, just fast. It's like, and they pulled it off. They're doing a good job. So thank you, James, for being so connected in the 1031 world to help us.
Yep. Yeah, you need an accommodator. I referred you to Greg Burns, if I can, 1031.
Thank you, Greg.
Who happened away. So a quick shout out to Greg. He is my QI. He and I have become very good friends over the last 10 plus years, and he is my co-host on my QI Corner that we do 2 episodes every month on my YouTube channel. On this
I didn't
channel,
know that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, he is an encyclopedia of 1031 exchange knowledge.
Wow.
So if I ever get stuck, he is my first call. But to the point quickly, I wanted to just say real quick is that the conversation that you had with the CPA was probably the smartest thing. And that's what I tell everybody. It's like, look, if you're going to sell, if you're considering selling an investment property that you've had for a long time where you're definitely going to realize a significant gain, the first person you should talk to is your CPA. We want to sell this. Here's what we think it's worth. What is our tax implication? What am I looking at in the terms of capital gains tax? Because I've been referred people where they've had that conversation with the CPA while they're in escrow, which is not a place you want to be.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
So this is how we wrap up. So
okay.
First and foremost, so I just want to again just reiterate how grateful I am that you have been such a great friend and a great resource to me. I know that I am not alone in that sentiment. You have made the difference in probably hundreds, if not thousands, of brokers with your broker list, and you're always so accommodating and reaching out a hand. You've done that to me multiple times, and I just really want to tell you, Linda Day, thank you for being a part of our community.
That's so sweet.
I know we all love you very much.
That's so sweet.
So here's how we wrap up, is that all of my guests get to say my tagline, which is, because the best 1031 is a successful 1031. So let me hear you say it.
The best 1031 is the most successful 1031.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you, Linda, for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I can't wait to give you a big hug in a couple weeks in September. Thank you again.
Thank you.